Alrighty. I know this is late. This is on the spot. I apologize. Sorry about last week. I wasn't feeling too well. Getting over a cold still. Got a lot of housework to do. So this is going to be a short video hangout on air. So with questions from the forum. If I happen to get a couple questions, I'll jump to them as soon as I can. I do only plan on doing a half hour instead of my normal hour or so, just because I have other stuff to do to get ready for Thanksgiving. So without further ado, I will jump into the questions. Excuse me. And the first question I get is from Dean Bricklin. Dean asks, what is the most common problems people look for help on Chromebook Central? For Chromebook Central, there's a wide variety of problems that come in. It seems the most common is people asking how to install something. It's just like people coming in asking how to install a game for Windows onto a Chromebook, or how to install Microsoft Word or something like that. That's the main question, is how do I install this on my Chromebook? Or why doesn't this work? There are some sites that, like Voodoo, that don't let you watch the high definition stream. And I actually contacted Voodoo through their contact support, and all I got back was, we only support standard definition, which I wanted to go, I know this. I was asking if you were planning on supporting high definition for Chromebooks, and I should get back to them and going, I know that you only support standard definition. But those are the main ones. Next question is also from Dean Bricklin. For any security or privacy enthusiast, what features does Chrome OS provide to help people who want to remain anonymous online? Well, you could use guest mode instead of signing into your Google account. There's the incognito mode also, which is what guest mode is. It runs in incognito mode, and it deletes the history and the cache as you log out. It doesn't mean you can't be. Incognito mode does not store any of your information. So that would be it, really. They do encrypt everything on the Chromebook. Each user is encrypted separately, so only none of them can interact with each other, aside from the owner allowing other users on the Chromebook to be able to share the same or use the same Wi-Fi credentials and whatnot. Next question is an anonymous question. When will Material Design come to Chrome OS? It can come anytime, really. The documentation's out there for web designers to use Material Design. Now, if you're talking about for the UI on Chrome OS, I think that may be a little ways off. But for websites, whenever they want to implement it, it can be implemented. I believe so. There's that. And next question would be another anonymous question. Does Chrome OS use Chromecast better than a Windows PC? To be honest, I've never tried to use Chromecast to cast my Windows PC to my TV. So I'm not 100% sure. I'm not sure if I can even, if it does allow me to just display mirror the screen like Chrome OS does with the internal monitor, where I can just mirror the entire thing. But with YouTube, it's simple. It just throws it on there. It doesn't matter if you're using Windows, Mac, uh, Linux, or Chromecast or Chrome OS. There is also, I'm not 100% sure. So I could play around with it, but I'd have to move my TV where I can see it from my Windows PC. Because I don't have a Windows laptop, so I can't try it from a Windows laptop sitting in front of my PC or in front of my TV. Next question from Dean again. Where have you learned most of your knowledge of Chrome OS? The fact you know so much about Chrome OS is the reason people mistake you for a Google employee. I've been passionate about Chrome OS since they announced it at I/O in 2000. I want to say 9. They announced it, and in 2010, I was part of the CR48 pilot program where Google sent out a bunch of CR48 Chromebooks. So I've been using it for a while. I've been on Chromebook Central since its inception. I've been around and absorbing that knowledge for a while. I've been a top contributor for 2 years now, which gives me access to ask more questions that I don't know to Googlers that work with Chrome OS. So I'm able to get answers that I can and share them and use my knowledge to help. So really, I'm just from Chromebook Central and the internet. Any information, I go around and I look at any information I can about Chromebooks. Aside from like rumors and reviews, I'll watch reviews if I can't get my hands on a Chromebook, just to get a general knowledge. I won't claim that I know the device, but at least I can see hands-on and see what couple features they have and notice differences, even if they don't mention it on the review. As they get a good look at the device, I can kind of tell what's different. So yeah, that's where my knowledge comes from. Next question is another anonymous question. Why do Chrome boxes use laptop RAM? I don't have inside knowledge, so I'm not sure. Chrome OS runs better on it, I guess. Chrome OS is designed to run on specific hardware optimally, so I'm not sure if they'd have to change something to use regular like desktop RAM to make that work if they wanted to throw regular desktop sized RAM into a Chrome box. I'm not sure. It also might be a form factor thing. Maybe I'm not 100% sure. And the rest of the questions we have are from Dean. So this next one is, have you ever had someone post a problem in Chromebook Central that you could not help? Actually, yes. I personally, I don't have the technical know-how to do some of the things that people are wanting to do. There are also some people that pop in with very little information shared, so we don't know what exactly their issue is. And when we ask them for more information, they don't come back. They're silent. We've had threads sit for, I think, I think three months is the form automatically locks a post if there's no activity on it. And we've asked for more information, and we've had posts go inactive. Um, so if you have a problem and you go to Chrome OS, please, 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 please be as detailed in your description as possible. Let us know what Chromebook you have, what you're doing when you run into the problem, and if you're having problems connecting to the Wi-Fi, what router brand you have or whatnot, and definitely be as detailed as possible. That way we can help you without having to probe for more questions. Next question from Dean. What's the worst thing about being a top contributor on Chromebook Central? Is it something simple like duplicate posts? Actually, I don't mind the duplicate posts. Some people come and they might not be too savvy to know how to search for the topic, or don't feel like, because there's a lot of information in Chromebook Central. Maybe they don't feel like going down and scrolling down to try to see if there's an issue that matches, or they're not technically savvy to be able to search and find a relevant topic. So I don't mind the duplicate post so much. It's the thing that gets me personally, and this is in any form, is the people that go around and they're just negative, pure negative, no positive, no constructive criticism, just negative. Those people are what personally bother me in any form. So that's really my main issue, and that's just not Chromebook Central. That's any form that, or anywhere that we're comment sections, for any form, anywhere where there's interaction with other people. Negative people just drains it, and it's not helpful. Now, if they were negative but they were offering ways to improve, that'd be constructive criticism, that'd be fine. But just shitting on something to shit on it, not cool. So there's that. All right, Dean says, when I read an article a while back about something that Sundar said, and he said that Google wasn't going to merge Chrome OS and Android and would rather let it happen naturally than force them together. Do you agree on this? Yes. And that's kind of what the Android apps on Chrome OS with native client does. It's a natural progression of the web technology. So yeah, I'd rather not see them just be jammed together. That'd be counterproductive. It'd be too much work, and letting it happen naturally where, oh, this happens to Android goes this way, Chrome OS is going this way, oh, they happen to cross right there. Perfect. It's not like, okay, Android's going here, Chrome OS is going here, let's make them cross. No. No. Next question, Dean. Most Chromebooks these days are either white or black. Very few color models are available. Why do you think that is? And when do you think it'll start to change? Well, personally, I prefer either the white or black, or even the Pixel's just aluminum body. And a lot of people might do that because that's what they buy. That's what sells. So manufacturers don't go with options. Um, Now, what I can say is if like HP or Dell or someone, I know they have different colored Chromebooks. If you feel that they should offer more color options, let it be known. Take out your wallet, buy a colored Chromebook instead of a black or a white one. That's how it'll change. That's how that's how it works. All right, Dean, why does Chrome OS have the same logo as the Chrome browser? They aren't the same thing, so I think it would be better if they had different logos. What do you think about this? They're both Chrome. Chromecast even has the Chrome logo on it, so um, it's based off the same code, almost. Granted, Chrome OS has a lot more coding in it, and I'm not sure they want to put the effort into kind of rebranding it, because if you change the logo, you're want to change Chrome OS out of there. Unless they can work in the same Chrome design somewhere. But personally, I don't see an issue with the logo being the logo and then Chrome, or the logo and then Chromebook. Because they both run Chrome. So I'm fine with it personally. It's not an issue for me. But like I said, it'd be kind of tough to redo a logo for Chromebooks that doesn't look like the Chrome logo already. Because you need to have that kind of Chrome logo look to it, because it does still run Chrome. So, whenever I go to a Google product forums, let's see, sorry, Dean. Whenever I go on the Google product help forums, I see someone who has Google employee next to the name. They always seem to have a huge amount of downvotes. Have you seen this before? I've seen it in Chrome browser help forum a few times. Also, there are many active Google employees, or also, are there many active Google employees on Chromebook Central? Apologies. Yes, I've seen the downvotes to Google employees. A lot of times when I see the downvotes in Chromebook Central, it's when a Google employee comes in and they give you the reason, the technical reason why something won't work. So when Google employees get downvoted, it's mainly because people don't like the answer. It's a good answer, people just don't like it. And top contributors and rising stars and people writing the correct answer, though not the popular answer, get the same kind of heat where you're getting downvoted even though it's going to be the correct answer. Now are there many Google employees active on Chromebook Central? Well, you got the community manager, Andrea. There are a few of the Chrome OS team that pop in every once in a while. There's quite a few of them. I don't remember all their names. Um, I'm having a brain fart. Um, the really we have a really bright, smart guy that does the help uh, pages for Chrome OS. He'll pop in um, and ask the rising stars and top contributors if the help pages make sense, and we try to help them uh, clarify and make the answers a little uh, easier to understand. And he does a really great job, and most of the time we don't have it's perfect. Um, and I'm brain farting on his name. I do apologize. He's a freaking wonderful guy. Um, but most of the time when like we need the Chrome OS team to answer something, Andrea will actually go to them and get the answer herself and post the answer. And sometimes they'll come in and they'll answer instead. She'll ping them and they'll jump in and answer. Um, but there are plenty of people that Google employees that come in and help out. This is going to be the final question from Dean. I remember like 6 to 8 months ago, I watched a video about Chromebooks. Someone was reviewing a Chromebook, and in the comment section was filled with jokes about Chrome OS and how irrelevant it was. Or how irrelevant it would be in a year or two, and how pointless it was to review one. How differently do you think people look at Chromebooks compared to, say, 4 years ago? Someone used to joke about how it's not a real laptop, and now everyone seems to think that they're very useful. Well, at least from what I see online. What do you think people look at them? Do you think people look at them differently? First off, hi, Timothy. Okay. A lot of people still think Chrome OS, Chromebooks are just a flash in the pan. They don't view them as full functioning laptops, which is fine. For some people, they don't have the complete set of tools that they need for a laptop. Okay. But for others, it does. It fits what they need to do, how they need to do it. Fine. So there's not an issue with how people view it. If enough people view it as a fine working laptop, they would keep making them, and they still do. So there's not enough people going, oh, it's not a laptop, it's not real, it's not a real laptop, you can't do anything on it, it's irrelevant. Apparently not, because we're still selling them. We're still buying them. It's still being updated. Google's not killed it off. So yeah, it's a real thing. Get over it. But yeah, there will always be the debate where Chrome OS isn't a real OS. With native client and HTML5, you can do things that you couldn't do when it first started, and it's great. And it's only going to get better. So yeah. That was it for the questions I had on the form. And I don't see, there are no new questions on the form. And I have no questions on the question and answers. So I'll do this quick. My disclaimer, credentials, and contact information. Disclaimer, I'm not a Google employee. I should have done that at the beginning, but oh well. I'm not a Google employee. I'm a Google top contributor for Chromebook Central. I have been a Chromebook user since the CR48 pilot program in 2010. I've owned the CR48, a Samsung Series 5, a Samsung Chromebook, which is the ARM Chromebook, a Chromebook Pixel Wi-Fi version. I've had my hands on a HP 14. We bought it for my sister-in-law for Christmas. Was it Christmas? It was either Christmas, birthday, or some. It was a gift for my sister-in-law. Anyway, bought that. I had my hands on that for a little bit. I've had my hands on quite a few demo versions at Best Buy, enough to get an idea of what's their intricacies. Contact information, you can reach me on Google Plus. You can, in the description, I have a link to Chromebook Central. You can post questions there, and they will pretty much get answered almost within probably the longest I've seen questions go unanswered that are descriptive and can be answered quickly. The longest I've seen one go is about an hour. But you can go to Chromebook Central. You can use the form I have set up for questions, which I will get to next week. I think that's about it. But yeah, you can always hit me up on Google Plus, and if you have a question, I will get to it as soon as I can. And also, I will air it on there. But yeah, I'm gonna pad this out for 12 minutes though, so I'm gonna go to Chromebook Central and see if there's any questions that I can answer there. And I think next week should be regular. It should be it should be my hour-long one instead of just a short half-hour one. And I'm going to see if about doing some app recommendations or extension recommendations for you guys. I'm going to try to get that set up this weekend. I'm off this weekend. Saturday, yeah, I won't be working on that, but Sunday, I'm going to be, I'll be working on that. I'll be putting together a list of stuff I can do to kind of fill in case I don't get that many questions. All right. Now for Chromebook Central. Give me just a second. I'm going to go ahead and filter these out with no authoritative response. It looks like a lot of the stuff that doesn't have an authoritative response is actually duplicate questions. Here's one. Is it possible to print several photos at a time? I can't seem to find a way to print more than one photo at a time. I would like to be able to print up to 4 photos on one page. Normally I would select more than one photo to print, but it doesn't seem possible in a Chromebook. Photos are located in Google Plus via automatic upload from an iPhone. Is there an easy way to get around this problem? Easy because it is for my dad, who is 70 years old and not a computer's whiz. He just wants to print his pictures. Thanks in advance. And the one response is, you really need to check with Google Plus Group Board, as the suggestion you have is looked at other apps in the Chrome store. Well, even with that, even if it's Google Plus, you're trying to print more photos on one page from a Chromebook, that's more of a cloud print issue. You can file an issue report for that and want to be able to multiple select photos, because you can still take photos from your file folder and want to be able to print all those onto one page. You should be able to have that option. So all right, Dean, have I come across any new cool extensions? To be honest, I've not looked at any new extensions lately. I haven't felt the need to augment any of my browsing, so the extension that I have or what I use, I could go in the web store and look at some of the new stuff, see how it works and if it's useful and whatnot. But I personally use the ones I use, and but like I said, next week I'll do some I'll set off like the last 15 minutes to talk about extension that I find useful, and maybe even highlight some new ones that I find on Sunday. But right now I've not looked into new ones. All right, I'm going to go back and look at some of the stuff I replied to earlier. Chrome OS displaying Voodoo in HDX. There was someone that came on Chromebook Central, and it's their first post, and they were hoping to be able to find a way to stream the HDX quality from Voodoo, which is their high definition on Chrome OS. They were thinking about buying a Chromebook, but that's holding them back. And unfortunately, it's Voodoo. They don't support it. Like I said, I've actually reached out to Voodoo and asked them if it was going to be supported, and all they came back to me was, oh, here, give me a second. Um, all right. So here's the support that, or the question I sent them, or I contacted Voodoo support. When trying to view an HDX stream of my movies, I have to settle for standard definition due to copyright issues. I was curious what that was about and if Chromebooks will be allowed to view HDX content in the future. And I gave them the link to the Chromebook Central question about it. And that was on the 18th. Um, it took them 5 days to get back to me. Um, Hello, Jason. Thank you for contacting Voodoo customer support. Voodoo unfortunately does not support Chromebooks in anything other than standard definition. If you have any more questions, please do not hesitate to contact us here at Voodoo. Best regards. So I contacted them stating that I already knew, but they just let me know that it wasn't supported other than the standard. And the only other reply to that question was, shoot, not what you want to hear. Voodoo supporting Chrome OS seems to be a long ways away. And then they thanked me for the answer. Then we have actually something we discussed with Dean a while ago was NFC in Chromebooks. And Dean came across or brought up the discussion about wondering if the community would think that Chromebooks should support NFC or have an NFC chip in there somewhere. And a lot of people were saying that it's not really something they're interested in. What I put in was that I don't, because he kind of got in a hurry and was thinking about replacing the trusted device thing. I think replacing the trusted device model would not be ideal, but using NFC to make the Chromebook a POS system would be interesting. Working with companies like Square or Pay Anywhere to develop a web-based POS that could use NFC, and I meant to put or their readers, would be nice. And then Joe, one of our top contributors, he was a writing star. He's a top contributor. He put in there are two things here. There's an NFC chip, which is small, simple, and inexpensive. And then there's the NFC reader, which is larger, more complex, and more expensive. I've seen them for as little as 20, but as much as 80, and on average, about 40. Or when talking about a $20 or $200 Chromebook, even an extra 20 is a 10% increase. We'd have to hope it could be incorporated into another chip like Bluetooth is usually the same chip as Wi-Fi. That could bring the cost and ambiguity into the range that could be feasible to incorporate into a Chromebook without raising the price. And yes, economics aside, I've long thought that NFC makes much more sense than Bluetooth as trusted device technology. Bluetooth range is too great, 30 feet and up, to provide any sort of guarantees of confidentiality. NFC, which has the range of a few inches, is much more appropriate. I am not going to use Bluetooth as a trusted device if I want a physical device for authentication, I would use my FIDO USB key. And then Jaffa Cake Monster made this comment. Hi, here are some thoughts about using Chrome devices as POS. In the UK, where chip and pin EMV have been around for a while, there are a few solutions that you have. Firstly, companies like PayPal will sell you a chip and pin machine for around £30 that you can connect to your Android or Apple device, which allows you to take card payments on the move. For permanent tills, the shop I work for gets card and pin machines with NFC contactless for about £55. They are USB and simply connect to the USB port or connect the USB port on the till. That runs Windows and crashes a lot, lol. I have heard that in Apple stores, if the queue is for the till is long, they use an iPad to take your money and then email you a receipt. An iPad is a good idea for that, excluding cash drawer. However, you can imagine a laptop, Chromebook, being used for the same thing. Laptops are awkward to carry and type on at the same time, so you'd have to use them on a tabletop or counter. There are POS software solutions that run on the cloud, so the shop simply use a browser to run the POS software. Now, a Chrome device would be good for that, but as previously mentioned, other than a tablet/Chromebook, it would be a Chrome box. Unfortunately, Chrome devices, even though they have USB ports, they will not work with chip and pin machines, and the only way they would work is if Google wrote drivers for each device and the owner uses developer mode. And using developer mode defeats the idea of simple and secure. So unless the shop owner wants to only accept cash, they will have to find another solution to take cards with Chrome devices. And with that, they wouldn't have to necessarily go to developer mode if Chrome worked with the POS readers and the card reader device companies, and worked in their drivers in Chrome OS. They wouldn't have to go into dev mode. They'd just go onto the Chromebook. They'd have to find that Google would most likely work getting the drivers into Chrome OS and helping the companies develop a web-based program or even a native client program to help facilitate a web-based or Chromebook-based POS system. That way you just plug it in into the USB port and you'd be able to take it. And I think I wouldn't use it for like walking around and going, oh, the line's too long. Let's bring out the Chromebook and sit here, hold it, and try to type and then swipe a card and whatnot. No, I'm talking about like mobile events like farmers markets or car shows or expos or food trucks, stuff like that, garage sales, stuff like that. Not for like, well, even if stores wanted to use them, they could. But that's really it. And for Dean, got a question. I was over at my uncle's house and he had a problem with this C720p. He told me whenever he tries to connect to his TV via HDMI, the sound won't play through it. I think the port might be damaged or the TV might be the problem. Okay, so it might be the TV issue, but whenever it happens, make sure that, of course, both ports are, excuse me, both ports are secured tightly. And then what I would do, if I ran into that problem, I would turn off the TV and turn it back on and see if that fixes the problem maybe. If not, I would reboot the Chromebook, leave it connected, reboot the Chromebook with it connected, and see if that works. But but if you keep running the issue, I would definitely unplug it, replug it, and just let the system log that it's having an issue, and then do Control-Shift-I, or I'm having a brain fart, sorry. It's yeah, no, not Control-Shift, Alt-Shift-I to issue the feedback report. Sorry. Sorry. Brain's not working, not feeling well. But if the sound doesn't work, unplug the HDMI from the Chromebook, plug it back in, let the system log the data, and then Alt-Shift-I to send a issue report. And then just let them know that the sound's not working, what model TV you have, what Chromebook model, what channel you're running, and that the sound's not working. And if it's mirroring the screen, just let them know it's mirroring the screen or extending the screen. However, if it's visually showing up, let them know it is visually showing up. We're just not getting sound. But yeah, include the brand, the type of TV that's being used. That way they know. And sometimes the Chrome OS team will go out and try to find that TV. I've shared this before, that there was a user having an issue with their Chromebook dropping Wi-Fi signal, and they happen to have a Theremin, and Google actually went out and bought a Theremin. The Chrome OS team bought the Theremin to try to figure out the issue and try to fix that issue. So just let them know what TV brand you have, like what year, model, brand, whatever, and I'm sure they tried to fix it. Now going back to the NFC and Chromebooks, I guess, just thought it'd be a safer version of Trusted Tester if it's on a shared Chromebook. I didn't think it would be a POS system, but it'd be a nice discussion. The Trusted Tester thing, it worked too. Just setting it there, and like having your phone right next to your Chromebook and it being unlocked so you can do that. I can do that with Bluetooth. I can turn on the Bluetooth on the Pixel, and my Nexus 5 will recognize that, oh, the Pixel's right there, and okay, it's next to it, it's secure. NFC, you have to be a little bit closer, and yeah, it's more secure. But I will see you guys next week. Thank you, Dean, for your questions. Thank you for watching. Again, if you have questions, you can always comment down below. You can use the in the description, there's the link to Chromebook Central. There's a link to a Google form that I have for questions. If you have questions that way, you want to stay anonymous, or if you want me to put your name out there, go ahead and use your name, which is fine. Either way, you can comment below. You can hit me up on Google+. So yeah, I will see you guys next week. And for those of us in the US, have a happy Thanksgiving. Everyone else, enjoy your weekend that's coming up. But yeah, I will see you guys later.